You know how I said I was starting to get some good results at my tournaments? I was consistently getting about a 40% win rate, and my losses were getting closer and closer, meaning that I was on the cusp of being consistently not terrible. Well, take all of that and throw it directly into the bloody bin, because it turns out I'm a goddamn moron who cannot win a game to save his life. My run at the January Winchester GT was an unmitigated disaster. My 80 Centurions got absolutely crushed, and I ended the weekend with a tragic 0-5 record. Not only that, but I'm so bad that I cannot even lose properly, and I was the only person at the event to not have something to show for their time. Everyone else either got at least a single victory or a trophy, because there was only one other person who went 0-5, and they at least got the Atlas Award, which is the WRT version of the wooden spoon. And no, I wasn't going to tank my score just to get the wooden spoon, and neither should you. That award should be earned through your own sheer determination and complete incompetence. No wins, no trophy, no bitches. This is the worst tournament I've ever been to. In terms of my performance, the people there and the running was... You know what I mean. I believe there are 3 reasons as to why things went so horrendously wrong. The first, nerfs. Thanks to all those meta-chasing losers who wanted to hop onto the Centurion bandwagon when Shanamite Talon was released, my list got heavily nerfed. I had to lose a unit of intercessors, which at the time I didn't think was too bad, as they didn't really contribute too much to my wins, but turns out they're actually extremely valuable. Being able to sticky my home objective and then move over to sticky up my natural expansion, which allows my blade guards to move forward, and being another action unit on top of that, really isn't something to be taken for granted. That lack of extra flexibility really hampered my ability to score, which in this list is already not an easy task. The second thing, my luck. Look, I don't like to blame the dice most of the time, but when you have a 4-inch rerollable charge, you roll a 3 into a 2, there really isn't much you can do about that. Or spending an entire game not being able to roll higher than a 3 for a goddamn save, or when you finally do get some good luck with 6 mortal wounds on a grenade stratagem, only to have 4 of them saved with 5 at feel no pains, it really does seem like the dice are against you. And it wasn't just the dice that were having fun, my card draws were also absolutely dire. Boy, do I love drawing Bring It Down and Mark for f***ing Death turn 1. Oh, hi, no prisoners, only appearing in round 5 every bloody game when I have nothing left to kill anything with. Where were you when my Centurions were trying to shoot stuff instead of having to do f***ing actions? Ah! And number 3. These goddamn motherfucking bitch-ass piece of shit pricks that the UKTC decided to implement specifically to fuck on me. What is this? Like... Okay, you want to reduce sightlines or whatever, but your solution isn't to make at least something that resembles a ruin. You just have a fucking coaster on the board and say, yeah, you can't see through that. Not even a little bit of rubble, a smidge of height. I'd take a fucking shrubbery just so I didn't have to look at the ground for a different texture and go, oh, damn, can't find lines coming through that. It's a special square of fucking dirt. I mean, fuck, man. Even just print a fucking exhaust vent or a fan or a crater with some fumes coming out of it. Something. I'm someone who understands oops all L ruins compromises, right? Trust me. I get it. And I don't mind because of its easy to replicate, store, set up, understand. All that stuff is fine. But even I draw the line at what is essentially a nice rug to tie the room together that I can't fucking see through. Alright, I have to confess, there is a 4th reason for my complete collapse in this tournament, and honestly, it's the only reason that actually had any effect on my performance, and that's my own sheer incompetence. I can't lie, there's nothing else to it. My luck wasn't great, the nerfs don't help, I hate the squares, but no one else seemed to have an issue with them. It's just my own run-of-the-mill, freshly homemade goddamn fucking stupidity that took me from a hair's breadth away from being a positive win rate player to plummeting to the depths of the bottom ranks. At the very least, I had an easy time getting my army around because I brought my Mad Case Super over to tabletopstronger.com. This, at least, is something even an idiot like me can't get wrong. And if you don't want to be an idiot, you better sit your ass down, pause whatever you have on your main monitor, and pay attention to the sponsor tie. Are you paying attention? Good. Get a mad case. Despite my defeat, there's nothing more satisfying than slapping down a tray of 18 Centurions and declaring that it's half my army. If you're going to go to a tournament and get completely obliterated, you can at least be sure that your minis of any size will be safely transported thanks to the strong MDF, adjustable trays, and the power of magnets. I wish the power of magnets would allow me to not make a complete arse of myself at tournaments, but alas, their power must be contained lest it take over the world. And you can help contain a magnet breach by going to tabletopstronger.com and use code 425 for 25% off and get free shipping to the USA, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and most of the EU. Now, put this video back on your second monitor and on your main monitor, go to tabletopstronger.com right now and buy Mad Case 2.0 and then stare at your purchase confirmation until it arrives while you watch What Is Bad Stuff videos on a loop. Let's just get right into the game so you can see how things went and what I did wrong so you can learn from my mistakes. Or, at the very least, make fun of me in the comments for being a goddamn buffoon. Game 1 was against Joseph, who was a super nice guy and was here on his first proper tournament. Joseph bought a Space Wolves army running Gladius Task Force because, when in doubt, Gladius Task Force. One pro tip from someone who's been to a few tournaments now though, Joseph. This army list name? Terrible. It's too informative. It shows that you're looking to learn and improve your list based on the data you collect from your games, and honestly, just boring. Logan Grimnar leads a group of 5 Terminators alongside another 10 Terminators led by Mr. Rockfist. 2 lots of head takers with characters leading them add some potent melee threats with Thunderwolf Cavalry for some extra speed. Princesses can keep the home safe while Scouts add some forward deployment and actioning power. 2 vehicular threats in a Repex and Gladiator Lancer round out the list with the Warlord Bjorn the Fell-Handed, who, in my last battle against Space Wolves, fell-handed me my own arse on a silver platter, despite most of the game standing around just for some extra command point generation. This list didn't seem too bad for me. As long as I can keep the fast melee threats away, I can whittle down the Terminators from range, and then if the tanks try to pop out and take a crack at my Centurions, my -1 to hit and cover should keep them alive enough to clap back and destroy them quickly. Mission is Terraform on the Sweeping Engagement deployment. With the UKTC added squares, Mark has updated his maps to implement these most hateful of polygons. If we compare the previous version of this map, we can see that cross-map sightlines are a lot more difficult to get and more restricted, only really being this one here, which is quite a fine line. Tanks don't have a problem with this, but my Centurions will struggle as not all the models will really be able to utilize this if a tank is mostly obscured by this triangle. There are still lines of sight up the edges of the board, but the left side is extremely tight, only a 2-inch gap, and the right side can no longer double up as a cross-map sight line for my Centurions with their high range. The center objective, however, is a lot more interesting, with these 2 pieces of terrain making that middle section a pain to fight through, as these pieces of terrain are designed to be at least 1 inch thick so you can't fight through them. Deployment-wise, I went relatively reserved. Instead of forward deploying the Blade Guard, I wanted their fights first to be in the center, where shooting them is less ideal. Fighting them is even worse. If I can bring out the shooting threats, I can swing around the Centurions or drop them into positions to annihilate those threats, and then allow my Assault Centurions to join alongside the Blade Guard to take a stranglehold of the center, while Strike, JPIs, and the 2 solo Phobos lads can work on the other sides. I also tried starting all my Centurions on the board, allowing me to have 2 smaller units just move into nice sightlines rather than having to rely on finding places for 12 Centurions to fit on the board turn 2. Joseph wins the roll-off for first turn, which will be a familiar sight for me going forward as I went second all 5 games. Yes, going second is somewhat advantageous. No, I didn't take advantage of it. My list doesn't really do that very well. It's hard to do bottom of round 5 scoring when you only move 4 inches. Joe plays the first turn relatively reserved, drawing Overwhelming Force, which is not good, and Attempting Target, which is extremely easy because I basically have to pick the center one as he's already holding the other 2. He shifts a few things around for staging and moves his Thunderwolf Cavalry with an unfortunately low advance roll to take the center objective for a tempting target and forcing me to have to deal with them. His Scouts terraform up the right side and his Combi Lieutenant terraforms the left. I don't want to give up ground, so in my turn 1, I move forward. Blade Guard up to get involved with the center objective. My Combi Lieutenant moves up to terraform it back, with my 2 squads of JPIs taking the side objectives and getting them terraformed as well. Joseph wants these back, he'll have to move out, kill me, and still have something there to terraform it back, otherwise I can get that ball rolling in my favor. My card draw, however, was less than desirable, with Mark for Death and Bring It Down. Both not exactly doable turn 1, so I elect to spend a command point to redraw for Engage on all fronts. Also not exactly ideal if I want to move an action. A squad of Centurions moves up just to get 1 model in line of sight of the Thunderwolves, but alone he manages to pick up 2 of them, showing the true power of the Centurion. Turn 2, and Joseph gets some good cards to make up for the lackluster primary. Secure and Storm. Not exactly the most difficult of challenges for the Wolves, as he can easily tear some JPIs apart, but crucially can only terraform 1 objective, meaning that I still hold 2 objectives and can keep terraform going. The Repex manages to poke its head out and take out 1 of the Centurions that kill the Thunderwolves, and he moves his big brick of Terminators up to start and try and build a fortress in the middle, but not quite enough to reach the center. My turn 2 starts with some nasty card draws again. Airy Denial is not going to be easy, but with established locus, I at least have a couple of Phobos lads in the sky that can sort that one out. Then I decide to completely throw the game away with a series of some of the worst decisions and target selections I've ever made in my life. Oh boy. I put the moment on the big block of Terminators, thinking that with the Centurions, I can drop down next to the squad I have here to get both Bjorn and that squad with the missiles. I really didn't appreciate the 4-up invent save and the fact that at best, missiles will need at least a minimum of 2 to go through per Terminator, and if I rolled badly, potentially 4, meaning that I barely pick any of them up in shooting. Despite knowing I had air denial and moving my troops up to try and get it, I saw the chance to fire 8 las cannons at a squad of Terminators, and I didn't take it! So I charged my Blade Guard into the big block and striking his Vanguard vets up to Bjorn's squad, hoping that with Inferno Pistols and lethal hits on the charge, I would deal with that squad, despite the fact that I have no rerolls or +1 to wound with Oath death. And I have fights first on my blade guard, so I should have let him charge me. And that big squad of Terminators has a 4-up fight on death. I still decided to send the blade guard in thinking I'd be able to kill them. I'm just, I'm so bloody mad at myself. Look at this board state, and you can see a million different better options. Shrike should have gone this way and just killed those 3 head takers and held that point, meaning Joseph would have to come over to deal with me there. I should have just shot all of the head takers on this side with my centurions to let the big Terminator brick come forward to get better lines of sight on them. I could have cleared space to bring down centurions there. My blade card should have just stood there and got charged so I could fight first and kill all that stuff out of sequence. My soul centurions should have done, you know, fucking anything. Instead, I killed Bjorn and like 7 Terminators across the 2 squads and lost Shrike's entire entourage and my blade guard in return. Why did I throw my strength 5 -1 1 damage melee at fucking 2-up 4-up Terminators? What the hell is wrong with me? Honestly, the fact that I held on for 43 primary points is impressive, frankly, but without any units left to do useful stuff, I eventually get overrun, losing 75 to 90. Joseph played well, don't get me wrong, I don't want to take anything away from him. This isn't me going, oh, Joseph only won because I threw the game. I just didn't exactly make it much of a challenge after blundering so hard for what was a really good winning position. Next up was game 2 against Chris, who, as always, was a super nice guy. And this was an interesting game because it was my first chance against Emperor's Children. This isn't a great matchup for me, as anything fast and deadly that can hold me back and kill me before I can position is a scary prospect. But it isn't my worst ever matchup. I get to find out the hard way what my worst matchup is at my next tournament, so subscribe if you want to see that one. But this is definitely one of the harder ones. It's quite a scary list. 2 scary demon princes alongside Lucius and a host of other nasty characters running with 2 squads each of infractors and tormentors, 2 chaos rhinos, 2 lots of 3 flawless blades, and 3 big squads of noise marines. All of these are damage profiles that really rip through me, especially when we're playing on the search and destroy deployment with the mission being hidden supplies, which at the very least means I can use all 6 of my lovely objective markers that you can buy as well as Battlestar.shop. Once again, these stupid squares of sucking not only block some nice lines, but also give a fast Emperor's Children in rhinos a place to park outside my deployment zone ready for a scrap. Look, I'm going to be so real, I barely remember this game from a tactical perspective, apart from that I did it wrong. But this game was a lot of fun and very memorable because of the dice making some very silly scenarios. 5 infractors charge into 3 centurions, kill 1.5, die to fall back, shoot and charge. 6 noise marines drop down, kill half a centurion, leaving 1 alive. After dealing with them, the last centurion of the squad dies when it gets run over by a rhino and takes 5 mortal wounds from tank shock. Turns out the true menace to centurions is vehicular manslaughter. Later in the game, I can take an objective with my massed OC2 JPIs if I just kill Lucius, which I don't really want to do it in melee because it fights first. So I use grenades and get a mighty 6 mortal wounds through, which are then completely negated when he makes 4 5-up feel no pains. I then charge, only getting 1 4-up for the mortal wounds, which he saves. Somehow I managed to keep the power fist alive, which does 6 damage, of which 5 are saved from Feel No Pains. Are you kidding me? But the biggest issue in this game was once again misusing Shrike. Last time I sent him in too early, so this time I decided to hesitate all game, using him to screen from potential reserve plays from either a Demon Prince or some Noise Marines. And it wasn't until turn 4 that I actually got him moving forward, rather than just dancing back and forth at the back of the field like a moron. I can get him into the middle of the board, try and take an objective with Oath the Moment on a Demon Prince so I can do some decent damage. A 4-inch rerollable charge. 3 into Snake Eyes. Well, fuck me, I guess. 61 to 97 defeat. This was going to be a hard matchup any way you slice it, but leaving 300 points of Inferno Pistols and lethal melee attacks for 4 rounds whilst my army gets torn apart does not make things easier. Now, game 3 is an interesting one, because game 3 was against Mark, who is a super nice guy, and I'm not just saying that because Mark is the TO and I got paired into the buy round, and if I don't say nice things, he can stop me from attending his tournaments or just beat me up. Mark is the organizer of the WRT tournament and has started up the UK RTC tournament circuit, which will allow smaller local tournaments to come together to promote tournaments across the UK, which I like because it's the local tournaments that you can really build a community around. So if you're a local UK TO, check out the links in the description for more information. And now that I've promoted that, Mark can't be mad at me for what I'm going to say during the game recap. Let's talk about buy rounds. Normally, a buy round is a default win because either you don't have someone to play against, or in this case, you play against Mark, who is a really goddamn good player. And the person who gets the buy round is usually at the bottom of the pile. So it's not exactly fair to have someone go 0-2, for example, and then have to play someone who, had they actually played the tournament, would likely be at least 2-0. This game didn't go well, but also I didn't want to just take the free win because there is a chance that you could play against someone extremely good in a tournament even if you are 0-2. If, for example, the players ranked 1 and 2 played each other in round 1 and players ranked 3 and 4 played each other, then in round 2 players ranked 2 and 4 played each other, then you could end up playing into the 4th best player at the tournament in round 3 even at a 0-2. So I didn't want to take this game lightly and I wanted to win and lose fair and square. Unfortunately, my dice decided that I was just going to lose. Centurion saving on a 3-up, no saves. 2-up, Nope. Who's a centurion? Last cannon sitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, 5 2s. It was that kind of game. Mark was playing a quite interesting Vanguard Spearhead list, which I'd show here, but he doesn't have it on BCP, so I can't just copy and paste it. But it had a bunch of JPIs with characters, some suppressors, which are quite cool, a couple of ballistas, and some eradicators with some small quads of inceptors as well. There's probably some other stuff in there. I think maybe some scouts or some incursors, infiltrators maybe. I don't know. There's a whole host of stuff. The mission was Scorched Earth on the Crucible of Battle deployment. Interestingly, Mark elects to play with the fixed missions because he's a punk-ass cowardly bitch who doesn't believe in the heart of the cards. Ugh, talk about a horrible scorecard. That mark for death, by the way, was for small mark for death against a single Inceptor that I could just not kill with like 5 Centurions and 8th and Shard. Things just kept living with a few scamp models for Mark or 1 wound on a character. With the fixed missions and the way his list works, he could just rack up easy points then deny me points with Scorched Earth. There was one fun interaction when I overwatched his Inceptors coming down from reserves, managed to kill all 3, and then he'd walk down just 3 more straight away afterwards that I somehow could not kill, despite the fact that I killed 3 in fucking Overwatch. Somehow, hitting on 6s is easier than hitting on fucking 3. Then I did my once per game blunder by going, I see you're using 2 intercessors that should be 0 because I somehow managed to not kill them with strength 9 missiles because I rolled so low the number of to do Scorched Earth in the center. Well, I have a big strike bomb here with your name on it. I just need to charge into this Eradicator squad, kill them, and then consolidate onto the point to deny you. Anyway, let's forget the plan between movement and shooting and kill all of the Eradicators with Inferno pistols, leaving me with an 11-inch charge instead of a 6-inch charge. Christ, you fucking goddamn idiot, Paul. What is wrong with you, you stupid piece of shit? 6181 defeat. Day 1. Not exactly a successful day of Warhammer, but I still have a chance on day 2 to turn it around. As long as I don't go back-to-back games making absolutely terrible mistakes or forgetting my plan halfway through a turn, squandering my winning opportunity, or trying to double down on a stupid play, making them even more stupid, I should at least come away with 1 win. Day 2 started against Tommy, who was a super nice guy once again. I've played against Tommy previously, and he's back with his Dark Angels, this time in Wrath of the Rock, replacing the Bikes and Land Raider from before with a nasty Stern Guard brick, some Desolators for indirect firepower, and a big block of Plasma Inceptors. We're playing Take and Hold on the Search and Destroy deployment, and both sides deploy relatively standard. A couple of key things from me for my deployment: instead of sending my Blade Guard to my natural expansion, I instead put them near the center to deter any turn 1 charge attempts, and they could potentially go towards Tommy's natural expansion with some fights first power, depending on where he either sends the Lion or the Judicia-led Inner Circle companions. And second, I made what I think was quite a cheeky little play here by deploying my Lone Op Phobos Lieutenant last behind where he deployed his scouts. His scouts are now stuck, as you can't end a scout move within 9 inches of either my deployment zone or one of my units. And as Tommy rolled to go first, he scouts first and can go nowhere. Then I can just scout this way to avoid any potential attacks from his Inner Circle companions. And even if he moves closer and elects to advance and charge with a stratagem, I can just reactive move 6 inches away. The game plays out as you might expect. I move my Blade Guard to kill the trapped scouts, and he brings his Stern Guard and Inner Circle companions towards them whilst I send my JPIs up to my natural expansion to hold them with their buffed OC. Lion comes out to play turn 2 to take a dominant hold on the center, and thanks to that 3-up invuln, 6 las cannons do nothing. The way to fire from Oath Up Flamers and Bolters do nothing, and even the 2 surviving Assault Centurions with sustained hits 2, damage 3 Siege Drills don't do the job. And it's up to a cheeky move with Strike's Vanguard Vets to secure the kill. Inferno Pistols do a bit more, leaving him with 4 wounds remaining, but I charged the remaining JPIs that had joined him for Lone Op protection, meaning that the fight's first Lion can only target the Centurions he's in base to base with. He kills them, but with my positioning, I can then pile into the Lion with Shrike and a couple of other Vanguard veterans to try and finish him off, whilst being protected from his fights first, killing the entire Vanguard unit. Because that would have been a really dumb mistake to send my Vanguard veterans into a fights first unit. That would just be a nightmare. There's no way I could possibly make that mistake. And if you haven't guessed by the tone of my voice, foreshadowing is a literary device, and fortunately, by the narrowest of margins, Shrike does the 4 damage he needs to cut the Lion down. Shrike's now a bit out in the open, but thanks to a reactive move, allowing him to get away from the Stern Guard, they can't now move and shoot him because I get Lone Up outside of 12 inches. The Stern Guard move forward anyway, advancing up so they can force Shrike to either stay still or suffer the threat of an Oath Overwatch if he does move, but that at least delays Tommy from overrunning me as quickly. We trade units back and forth, but the trades on my natural expansion weren't exactly brilliant, and Tommy was racking up primary points and taking a solid lead. A single Ancient Interminated Armor on 1 wounds, 1 Scout, and 2 JPIs kept me at bay and stopped me being able to hold that objective and score. I no longer had anything fast to get over there, but during Tommy's turn 4, I found the opening I needed. At the end of the turn, I could easily pick up my 6-strong squad of Devastator Centurions, put them down over here with direct lines of sight to his Desolators, which will take him off his home objective, only granting him 10 primary. And even if he does manage to kill Shrike's squad, he doesn't have the movement to get over to the center properly, meaning his turn 5 scoring will be blunted, and I can use the bottom of my round 5 to take the objectives I need by bringing up something with Deep Strike. On top of that, my Centurions will be in a perfect position, so if the Stern Guard do want to try taking the middle for any potential secondaries, I'll have a perfect angle to blow them off the map. So at the end of Tommy's turn 4, I picked up the Phobos Lieutenant because I figured I didn't have anything I need to do with the Centurions. I need to score points. No, fuck, God fucking damn it, you stupid fucking bastard! What the fuck is wrong with you? How did you forget within 10 goddamn minutes the game-winning plan, you dense motherfucker? Now Tommy gets the full 15 points, so he can move his JPIs to screen the area, so in my turn 5, I have a worse position for the Centurions, and it doesn't fucking matter if they die. And to make this the worst possible outcome, I lose 73-77, which means if I did that plan, Tommy's 5 less points would have been 1. Oh well, at least Tommy was an excellent opponent and it was a close game. And I have one more chance to grab that victory, and that would come in game 5 against Thomas, who was, say it with me everyone, a super nice guy. This was Thomas's first tournament, and he even told me that it was my videos that got him to give it a go. He's had a great time so far, and that kind of thing really makes me happy. Seriously, I'm so glad that these videos really do make an impact and show that tournaments aren't the scary, sweat-filled hives of scum and villainy that they're made out to be. I really appreciate that. Thomas brought along a Serpent's Brood Harlequins list that I'd go through, but there's a rage deep inside me that I cannot hold in anymore because I didn't even wait a single fucking turn to completely fuck up the game. Oh my god, I might be the dumbest motherfucker on the entire goddamn planet! Ah! My stupid idiot moron brain for some reason decided that, oh, I'm 0-4. I need to take risks in this game to try and grab a victory, despite the fact that each game is in a fucking vacuum, so taking unnecessary risks is fucking pointless, and in fact the opposite of what I should have done. We played, I don't know, some fucking mission on some stupid terrain that probably has these stupid fucking flat squares. Like, what the hell is this bullshit? Seriously. At least Mark printed some solid squares, the UKTC ones that I could wipe my fucking ass with these fucking rugs. What the fuck is this bullshit? Oh, look, at turn 1, bring it down. Well, there's a boat that's in that ruin that Shrike could charge, and whilst I'm there, I should try and take out some of those bikes. Oh, whoops, I'm a fucking dumbass. And because I have to charge around, there's a solitaire with fights first that can heroically intervene, but somehow only gets 2 Vanguard vets, so that was lucky. What should I do in return? What I should do is try to fucking triple split 8 Vanguard veterans and Shrike and expect to pick up a solitaire, 2 Skyweavers, and a Starweaver. They're so squishy, it should be no problem, despite only having a the moment on the Starweaver. A 4-up infantry save? What's that? Oh, look, I got Bring It Down. Great, 4 victory points, but I barely dented anything else. Oh, would you look at that? Skyweavers are like the rest of the fucking Harlequins, so that they blend the Marines with strength 6, 2 AP, and damage 2. And I said that at the start of the game, that my entire goddamn plan would be to avoid sending my fast units into him, because Harlequins will win those fights, so what do I fucking do? Send my 10-man Vanguard veterans directly at him, and then act shocked when they all fucking die, because I decided I was greedier than a fucking tech billionaire, wanted to try and take everything, and ended up with fucking nothing. Oh, I'm so glad that I decided to kill that Starweaver. 300 points and bonus to 4 victory points. And then the troop inside just jumps out and then turn 2 runs at me and kills Sean. So I'll be downy for free, but I could have just done fucking literally anything else and not been in this godforsaken mess. Am I okay? Is my brain okay? Do I have a brain? Does information just go inside my head, get processed, and then thrown directly in the fucking bin or something? Harlequins blend Marines. So I decide to put my head inside the fucking blender and turned it on. I would have done better if I literally had made every move in this fucking tournament on random fucking chance. I feel like I entered the room both days and lost 50 IQ points each time. I somehow had the opportunity to do literally anything and consciously made the worst fucking choice I could have possibly done. All these squares make a circle. 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 Sometimes we make mistakes, and the important thing is that we learn from them. I have 3 weekends with tournaments back to back to back, so there's plenty of chances to learn from my mistakes and turn it around, and try to put an end to what is currently a 9-game streak without a win. My list isn't very good, it struggles into a lot of armies, but it's a fun list and an interesting challenge for me. I just need to stop making the worst mistakes I possibly can, because the margin for error in this kind of army is extremely tight. Next time, I'll be going to my first team's event, so if you want to see that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and as always, thank you for watching. At least even if I don't win, I have all of you that I can share my misery with. If you want to help alleviate some of the pain in my soul, you can fill that empty void with money by becoming a member or patron like all of these lovely people, or buying my merch, or just sharing the video so more people see us and the channel grows. Hey, look, come on, get up. As always, next time.